Right, you can see we've had a go at doing some drawing. Not our finest hour possibly, but I think it's so important that we, and I say a lot in the classroom, is draw on people, become familiarised where the muscles are, get the clients moving once you've drawn on them, and you can really begin to see how things fit together. So today's kind of video is just reminding ourselves, and I'll talk you through what I've done the best I can, and you can then translate this into your friends and family. And then when people come into your clinic with rounded shoulders because they're stressed and overwhelmed, or they pulled their muscle pain through here because they've been lifting too many garden pots, or they're bricklayers, or they're tennis players, or whatever, reminding ourselves around our surface anatomy is absolutely key. When you see this video, please send us any observations if I've missed something, because I've got a feeling I probably have. But anyway, so let me talk you through what we've done. I'll go from the top down. So levator scapula, that key muscle that joins onto that superior angle of the scapula there. The yellow here is the scapula, where I'm trying to sort of draw that through and round, giving us that sort of density of that bone. Levator scapula, such an important group of muscles, turns the head, side flexion, all that stuff. That tense stress headache stuff comes from this. And this tendon attachment here is all related to that overuse of protraction. And I would say also always think about this curve of the upper back and the vertebra. So if you've got somebody who's very curved here and protracted, round shouldered, then this area really has to work hard to sort of stay kind of, in that locked long position of having to stabilize, and it gets really fatigued and you get that kind of tendonitis inflammation. Okay, so trapezius, we are so familiar with upper trap. Now today I want to link trapezius in the blue here, probably not my greatest drawing, but it comes up into the neck, down the spine, all the way down to T12, that last vertebra before our lumbar, comes up. And the important bit here is that it just triggers off the side of the scapula. So it just is, it's quite narrow as it comes up through. Now, as the upper trap swings through here, the key group of muscles I think is really related to this is in green. And this is our deltoid. Now, we've had 3 attempts at doing this, or 2 attempts at doing this, and I think we're not far off now. Remember that the deltoid attaches to that last third of the that bony ridge of the scapula, the spine of the scapula, halfway between the acranium and an elbow. And then if we swing around the front, you can see, oh yeah, we've got a little smiley face here. So the green comes through, that deltoid comes through and joins onto the front, that first little bit there of the clavicle before it swings around and comes through. Now, the bit I want to get hold of here, particularly around stress and overwhelming, is if the deltoid's really solid here, then the upper trap is going to be tight too. These hold hands together, and it's so important to get that lovely fascial stretch through here. So when you're doing your massage work, you come through and then not just stop here, you can come all the way down, and using your palm, you can really swing down and use that rotation in your femur. Femur? No. Your humerus. Humerus? Anyway, this bone, you could see.
Yeah, we're all over the place, aren't we? We're repositioning bones and everything.
It's thrown us. Yeah. So, relationship between upper trap and deltoid, really intimate, very important. As we're around the front here, our smiley face is showing that coracoid process, that bird crow part of our scapula, our shoulder blade that comes through the front here. And I've made a pretty awful attempt at pec minor and in red pec major. These 2 very separate muscles, pec major all to do with the arm, pec minor all to do with the scapula. Important you separate those. And our game plan here is always to open up the chest here by lengthening pec minor. Really nice techniques to do. And that massage with movement stuff is really worth kind of bringing into your repertoire with this. Okay, so if we just swing back round, let's just finish off these 2. That surface muscle on top of the, here's the scapula, the shoulder blade, and on top here, We've got the infraspinatus and teres minor. I'll pop them both in. They're both strong lateral rotators, bring the arm out. They get quite fatigued and overwhelmed at times. So I thought I'd pop them in. They're very superficial, very just under the surface. You can really easily palpate them. So there you go. That's our kind of thing to do. I think reminding ourselves where these muscles are and where the bones are. The Trail Guide, Andy Beale's book is brilliant for that. He does a whole load of serious videos. And I think whether or not we're holistic, sports, doesn't matter. I think it's very important that we gradually build up our confidence and knowledge of thinking, where are these muscles? Let's find them and see how they're interrelated and knit together, because they surely do. With postural dysfunction, be that round-shouldered, or be that emotional stuff where we're elevated and frightened and defensive and stressed, or if we're nice and yogis where we're just lengthening and breathing and having that nice uniform structure between our bodies. Thank you.